Howdy folks, and welcome back to another video. Today the topic I'm going over will hopefully be pretty short and sweet, that being a sort of debate I've heard around online about Animal Jam influencers on YouTube and on Instagram, and as to who has it better or which one is easier to do, because for whatever reason there seems to be a little bit of tension between Animal Jam creators on YouTube and Animal Jam creators on Instagram. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure why InstaJammers get all this hate. I'd say they definitely get a little bit more hate than the Animal Jam influencers on TikTok and on YouTube. People love to go out there and say that their jobs are easy, or that a lot of different popular Animal Jam InstaJammers are content farms, which I'm also going to be going over briefly. So I hope you enjoy the video. I guess I'll be starting with the accusations against InstaJammers that they are content farms, because I've seen that argument sprouting up a whole lot recently on Instagram, which I find pretty cruel. If you didn't know what a content farm is a a YouTube channel or an Instagram page or whatever social media page that puts out a bunch of really low quality content at extremely fast pace, so they can get as many posts out there as possible regardless of quality in order to rake in a ton of money. And yeah, that's a pretty bad connotation to give a channel or a page. So I think it's pretty mean that people are calling a bunch of InstaJammers content farms, and I definitely don't think that's the case. For starters, to my knowledge, none of these pages are actually making money off of their content, which is a key factor to a content farm, because the whole point of a content farm existing is to put out as much low quality content as possible so that you can make money. Though I do think I can understand the aspect of the argument that brings into question the frequency of posts on InstaJammers pages, because a lot of InstaJammers do post a lot, be it every day, a couple times a day, maybe every other day, but it is way more posts than you'll see on a YouTube page. But I think that's less because they're a content farm and more so because of the sort of content that Instagram promotes. Specifically on Instagram, a lot of what goes viral is Reels, which are short TikTok-esque videos, or the posts where it's just slideshows of a couple edited together images, which is why a lot of people consider Instagram posts to be low quality, is because it is visual content, it's text, it's images, and from what I've heard, a lot of people think that it's really easy and quick to put together a bunch of slideshows, which I have a few opinions on and I'm going to go over here. I have an Instagram page. I don't really use it to post frequent content, mostly just re-uploads of some of my YouTube shorts. Sometimes I post my art, but I did recently actually make a slideshow, this stereotypical Instagram slideshow post for a activity that I'm participating in. And I will say, it's not the easiest thing to put together. It was certainly a lot easier than putting together a TikTok or putting together a YouTube video, but it definitely wasn't easy having to gather all of the assets for the posts, arranging them so it looks aesthetically pleasing. And I'm going to be honest, the post that I made was pretty bare bones. And a lot of aspiring InstaJammers who want to be ambassadors and stuff, the posts that they're making are way more complex than mine. So I do imagine that it'd probably take them a good hour and a half, if not longer, for some of their posts. Especially those InstaJammers that are making particularly engaging posts. Because I will say, a lot of InstaJammers do post similar content where it's hey, today Leilani has this, today the pack chest gift is this, where it is kind of just your daily Animal Jam updates, which is kind of samey, and I can understand maybe the content farming aspect there, but there are creators out there who are making genuinely creative and inspiring stuff. I'd like to call out real quick Sweet Puggle, who makes these amazing little activities on Instagram where they make their Where's Puggle every week, and I love that so much. I know that's going to take a ton of effort to get done, because as someone who enjoys decorating dens himself, I know how much effort goes into making a den fully decorated, let alone Sweet Puggle, where you have to get a ton of matching den items, fill the den to the brim so that you can easily hide there, make a matching fit, then edit together an Instagram post. I'm sure that Sweet Puggle's posts those probably take a couple hours. But even for the smaller InstaJammers, it's not super easy if you're putting genuine effort into it. So I feel calling these people content farms is really unfair. As for the argument, however, that InstaJammers don't put in as much effort or it's easier to be an InstaJammer than a YouTuber, I have a few opinions. A big argument I hear brought up a lot is the difference between the algorithms on Instagram and on YouTube. That being that, YouTube's algorithm relies heavily on the content itself, that being like the thumbnail, the title. You have to have a really good clickable thumbnail or title or people just won't watch your stuff. And then in videos for YouTube, you have to be pretty engaging. You need to have auditory input, you need to have visual input. So there has to be like a voiceover, be that like a robotic voiceover, but you know, people tend to prefer like actual human voiceovers, then background music, then you actually have background footage. Then if you're doing a PNG tuber type thing like I do, then you have to manually edit in every single change in pose for your character. And then you have to do image overlays to present the information that you're talking about. I will say, putting together a YouTube video, it is incredibly difficult. For myself, my recording of the footage and then getting the background music, that normally takes me about an hour. Then doing my voiceover takes me anywhere between like 40 minutes to another hour. And then actually editing my content together usually takes 2-ish hours, depending on how long the video is. But considering the fact that I tend to do like 20-minute to 30-minute videos, it tends to take a long time. Whereas an Instagram post, Instagram is really different with its algorithm. I'm not super frequent on Instagram, so I wouldn't understand its algorithm like a lot of other people, but it relies heavily on reposting people's posts to your story as opposed to finding people naturally on your page. If you're not going out of your way to search for people that you might have heard elsewhere, you probably won't ever get any Animal Jam content on your page. You have to manually go out of your way to look up Animal Jam and follow associated accounts. And even then, you're not going to get other Animal Jam pages on your page just because you're following different Animal Jam influencers. So what a lot of InstaJammers do to try to get their name out there, which I do admit is a bit of a questionable tactic, is they'll do frequent and heavy giveaways, where they'll give away big items on Classic or Play Wild, and then have requirements be like, follow me, repost this to your story, and then tag 3 friends, which is very intelligent and will make your account grow very quickly. I've done some giveaways myself in the past before I started making content, and then I did a giveaway recently on my channel page, and that definitely got a lot of engagement. It definitely raised the follower count, it definitely raised the view count, so I can understand the aspect of wanting to do that to gain followers and viewing, which on Instagram, you're probably not going to make it as an InstaJammer if you're not doing giveaways. I will admit that. And that is because it's so difficult to find somebody if you're not already aware of them from other sources. Like, I have a few hundred followers on Instagram, and that is most likely only because of my one reel that was pretty popular, or because they already knew me from YouTube or TikTok. So yeah, I do 100% agree that a lot of InstaJammers do way too many giveaways, and they kind of rely on giveaways for their follower base. But that is not because they're out there rubbing their hands together greedily and just waiting to rake in the viewers. It's because that's kind of how the algorithm works. You have to rely on people pushing your name out there. You have to rely on other people tagging you in their videos, in their posts. You have to rely on, people reposting your stuff. That's kind of just how Instagram is. I wouldn't say it's like a result of InstaJammers being greedy or InstaJammers being full of themselves or anything like that. I think it just more is a product of the algorithm. So I do think that argument is, again, a little bit unfair. And as someone who has made posts for Animal Jam on a few different platforms over the years, I was a TikToker before I was a YouTuber, and now I'm just kind of chilling out on Instagram, occasionally posting now and again. Even if some platforms are easier to do than others, that doesn't make it any more or less valuable. I'll say that because when I was doing YouTube, I am doing YouTube, that is, in my opinion, way more difficult than making TikToks. I still make TikToks, and TikToks are honestly kind of easy to edit together, at least in my experience. But that doesn't make it any less valuable a platform to work on, because there's different aspects of either platform that makes it more or less difficult than others. In my experience, TikToks are way easier to edit than YouTube videos. However, while YouTube does have an easier algorithm in my personal experience, you easily get way more views way more quickly on TikTok. And while it might be easier to edit a TikTok, TikTok's, their algorithm requires you to post way more frequently than on YouTube. So as a result, you end up making more videos, putting in more effort. So in my opinion, it kind of balances out. And while I'm not an active user of Instagram, I would assume that it's very similar on Instagram, where obviously these people are posting every day or almost every day, and that does require a lot more attention than just, me recording a YouTube video one day, editing it the next day, and being done for the week, and then just uploading some shorts. There is a difference in different aspects of each social media platform that does, in my opinion, kind of balance it out. In conclusion, I would say that generally, I think YouTube is more difficult to get started on in some ways, but overall, I'd say that there is no one superior Animal Jam like content creator platform. I think that a lot of jammers, regardless of what social media platform they use, have the opportunity to be incredibly creative and inspiring, and I don't think that you should just throw out a bunch of content creators just because of the platform that they post on. That being said, before I end off today's video, I actually have a bit of an announcement. I was recently invited onto a cute little Animal Jam project, that being the Animal Jam VidCon. If you don't know what that is, it's a little in-game event that lasts for 3 days from June 30th to July 2nd, where in-game a bunch of Animal Jam creators like from Instagram and on YouTube are going to all get together, hang out so that our fans can meet their favorite content creators. There's going to be sapphire drops, phantom drops, all sorts of fun stuff. And you'll get the opportunity to get autographs from your favorite Animal Jam influencers. It's going to be a blast. If you don't know how it works, all the different content creators are split up into different teams based off of gemstones. I'm on the green team, aka Team Emerald, so you'll be able to find me over in Lemon Tart's Den. So when the time arrives, the time being 4 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. EST, and if you don't know how it works, you'll show up at the leader of whatever team you want to represent, go to their den at the time allotted, and just hang out with your favorite influencers. I'll have a picture on screen of the different teams and the different team leaders. If you're interested in a particular Animal Jam influencer that you know is participating, go check out their page. Most of them are having their information over on Instagram, so go check out their Instagram page and find out which team they're on. I'm going to be on Team Emerald, so if you want to go to see me, go over to Lemon Tart's Den when the time arrives. I'll be over there. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that I might have changed your perspective a little bit on InstaJammers and whatnot. I feel like for whatever reason that is a bit more of a controversial take within the meta of the Animal Jam creator community, because I've heard other influencers say some not so nice things about InstaJammers, and if you're an InstaJammer watching this, know that you have my full support regardless of what kind of content you post. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all around.